Quarter 3. Week 4. Mean, variance, and standard deviation of a discrete probability distribution. Computing the mean, variance, and standard deviation of a discrete probability distribution. Problem: the numbers of classmates who are K-pop fans, along with its corresponding probabilities, is given on table. Compute the mean and the standard deviation of the probability distribution. And here's the given.
The given X stands for the K-pop fans. So these are the 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. P times X. So it is 0.27, 0.25, 0.18, 0.15, and 0.15. So X times PX equals 3.24. 13 times 0.25 equals 3.25. 14 times 0.18 equals 2.52. 15 times 0.15 equals 2.25. 16 times 0.15 equals 2.40. So U times the X. 12 times 12 equals 144. 13 times 13, 169. 14 times 14, 196. 15 times 15, 225. And 16 times 16, 256. So, multiply these two. So, 0.27 times 144 equals 38.88. 0.25 times 169 equals 42.25. 0.18 times 196 equals 35.28. 0.15 times 225 equals 33.75. 0.15 times 256 equals 3840. Represent as the K-pop fans. Mean equals 6 times P times X. So the mean equals 13.66 is the value of the mean. Find the variance. So X to the power X squared times P times X minus mean to the second power. So 188.56 minus 13.66 to the second power. 188.56 minus 186.5956 equals 1.964. This is the variance. Let's find the standard deviation. So, let's just find the square root of the variance. So, 1.96 square root is 1.401. So 1.401 is the standard deviation.
This problem. The number of classmates who are PAP fans along with its corresponding probabilities is given in the table. Compute the mean in the standard deviation of the probability distribution. We have two columns. The first column is X, which refers to the possible values of our random variable, which is the numbers of K-pop fans. And the second column are its corresponding probabilities. If you notice, there is missing probability in this distribution table. Let us always remember that sum of all these probabilities should be equal to 1. In other words, if this occurs that 1 or 2 or 1 probability is unknown, let us just add all the given probability. Let us have 0.27 plus 0.25 plus 0.18 plus 0.15 is equal to 0.85, and 1 minus 0.85 is equal to 0.15. Thus, we now found the missing value of probability in our distribution table. This time, let's proceed to calculate the mean and variance and standard deviation. We have the formula here to solve for the mean. Mean is denoted by the mu, and it is determined by finding the summation of the product of the sum of the products of the possible value of at its corresponding probability. While the variance is denoted by lowercase letter sigma squares equals the difference between here the sum of the products of the x squares of the possible value and its corresponding probability, and the square of the mean, while the standard deviation is simply the square root of the variance. Let us proceed to solve this problem. The first column again are the possible values, the second column are the corresponding probabilities. Let us add another column here, and we will denote as the product of the possible value and its corresponding probability we have. We have 12 times 0.27 and 13 times 0.25, 14 times 0.18, 15 times 0.15, and 16 times 0.15. And now these are the answers that we have. We now have the products of the possible value and its corresponding probability. Next is, we determine the squares of our possible values. We have x squared. And next is multiply by itself. 12 times 12, 13 times 13, 14 times 14, 15 times 15, and 16 times 16. And now this are the answers. After this, add another column in our table and we label it as the product of the squares of each possible value and its corresponding probability. We have the x squared of the possible value multiplied by its corresponding probability. We have 144 times 0.27 equal. Again, 169 times 0.25 equal 196 times 0.18 equal 15. 225 times 0.15 equal, again, and the last 256 times 0.15. And now this is the last column, and these are the answers. And now we're going to add this all. And after we're going to add, the answer is 13.66. We have the x squared of the possible value multiplied by the its corresponding probability, and now we're going to add this all, and is equal to 188.56. 188.56 minus 13.66. Copy the 188.56, then minus, well, first we're going to 188.56 minus close parenthesis 13.66 close parenthesis squared, and minus 186.5956. 188.56 minus 186.5956 is equal to 1.964. To determine the standard of deviation, we simply get the square root of our variance. Our variance is 1.964. Our square root is 1.964. And now we're going to calculate this. Square root of 1.964 is equal to 140. We have calculated the value of the mean, the standard, the variance, and standard deviation.